I can still see it vividly. The moment her eyes met mine as I stepped through the door. The bed was a tangled mess of sheets, his hand resting casually on her leg. Sophie, my closest friend, my spouse, entwined with James in a way that hollowed out my chest and left me breathless. She didn't scramble to cover up, didn't falter or shrink away. Instead, a sly, almost cruel smile played on her lips, as if my sudden return had cast me as a fool in their secret play. Her voice sliced through the silence, sharp and cold. "So, what's your move now? Go to break down and cry?" I didn't answer with words. My smile wasn't one of forgiveness or weakness. It was calm, calculated, a slow countdown to a storm yet to come. I turned quietly, closed the door softly behind me, and let the silence follow me down the hall. That was a month and a half ago. Sophie was a wildfire, untamed, fierce, and vibrant, the kind of woman whose presence could ignite any room. We met in university, two opposites magnetized by contrast. She was raw energy, sharp and unpredictable. I was a quiet strategist, always planning 3 steps ahead. Together, we were an unlikely pair, but our differences forged a connection that felt unbreakable. And James, he was the brother I never had. We grew up on the same street, shared secrets, stood by each other through life storms. He was the best man at our wedding, his toast now a haunting echo filled with words I wish I could forget. Back then, blinded by trust, I never saw the cracks forming beneath the surface. The first hint came on a quiet Wednesday night. Sophie's phone lit up with a message from a single letter. J. Nothing unusual. James had always been close to her, maybe too close. But that evening, she turned her phone away, slipped out of the room. A whisper of unease settled over me, one that refused to fade. In the weeks that followed, I became a silent observer. Late-night texts, sudden errands, stories that never quite added up. I held back confrontation, choosing instead to watch and collect fragments of a truth Sophie thought I'd never uncover. She always underestimated the power of stillness, believing loud fury was strength. But I knew silence had its own weapon, precise, deadly, patient. I began gathering evidence, piece by piece, installed discrete tracking software, linking her devices to a hidden cloud, set up tiny cameras, hidden with care. Sophie never updated her passwords, reckless in her confidence. In a folder I labeled miscellaneous, I found all messages, photos, videos, proof of their secret world. They had used my home, my bed, my life as their playground. There were moments when the weight of betrayal threatened to crush me, but raw anger is a blunt instrument, useless without control. I honed mine carefully, focusing it with sharp intent. I moved quietly. Funds were siphoned off, legally and discreetly, into accounts beyond her reach. Shared assets were frozen. Properties unknown to her were transferred into a trust under my name alone. I consulted a lawyer, sharp, merciless, and disarmingly charming. Together, we mapped out every detail with meticulous care, timing everything perfectly. James had a partner, Leah, a warm, generous woman who brought pastries to our gatherings, who called Sophie's sister. I sent Leah everything, every incriminating text, every timestamp, every proof of their deceit. Her reply was brief but resolute. "Thank you." No hysteria, just quiet determination. The final move required flawless precision. I told Sophie I'd be working late. Instead, I came home 2 hours early. Stepping into their staged act, I caught the flicker of shock in her eyes, quickly replaced by that cruel grin. "What are you going to do?" "Break down," she taunted. I smiled calmly, turned on my heel, and walked away without a word. That night, sleep deserted me. I didn't need it. I had purpose, a plan unfolding like a perfectly tuned machine. At 7 a.m. sharp, Sophie was served divorce papers, detailed, irrefutable evidence attached. By 7:30, Leah was at James's door. She didn't raise her voice. She handed him a USB drive and walked away, silence louder than any shout. By 8, my phone exploded with missed calls, from Sophie, from James, frantic attempts at damage control. They showed up at my office by 9, desperate to talk. I refused. Security escorted them out as Sophie's muffled cries echoed behind glass. "We can fix this," she begged. "It's not what it seems." Once, she said, love was everything. Now her words fell hollow, emptied of meaning. 2 days earlier, I'd sold the house. The deal closed that morning. Sophie's name was never on the title, just assumptions, and she was expert at those. I let her live in her illusions. James's world crumbled too. Leah sent the evidence to his company's board, where a strict ethics code made his job impossible. By midday, he was unemployed. Leah packed her bags, took their dog, and severed every tie. James was alone now. Sophie, deeper in ruin. She built her life on assumptions, never verifying what was truly hers. I didn't destroy her. She created her own downfall. I simply handed her the means. Betrayal shatters something fragile inside you, but in its place, something stronger grows. Exact, relentless. I once believed love could conquer all. Now I believe in accountability, delivered quietly, without drama, the kind that walks away with a calm, knowing smile. Tonight, I'm in a penthouse hotel suite, the city's lights stretching endlessly below me. A glass of bourbon rests in my hand. My phone buzzes again. Sophie, James, their names flashing. I dismiss the alerts. Then a new message arrives from Leah. Short, sharp. We did it. I smile. And this time it's real.